Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I got a really good video for you today because I've really been thinking about this topic, and I really feel like this is something Call of Duty should really be thinking about when they go and make their next couple games. But before we get into that, I do want to kind of go over why I'm making this video. And of course, it ain't the greatest of news. If you were scrolling Twitter like I seem to do every single time when I'm making these videos, you might have saw Charlie Intel and Modern Warzone kind of cover this subject. And unfortunately, yes, it's about Black Ops 7. And this tweet right here in front of you, Call of Duty experienced a double-digit percentage sale decline compared to BO6. Well, that ain't very good, ladies and gentlemen. And it's especially not good for the Call of Duty people, Microsoft, Xbox, whatever. Now, I feel like you and I, as Call of Duty fanboys, kind of expected this. Like, it wasn't this totally unexpected event because we're kind of aware of the underperformance. It's kind of like feels like that's why they were doing all these changes. And we've talked about it before. The competition around this game this year is at an all-time high, and it feels like they have not put out their best product. Now, obviously, Arc Raiders coming out of nowhere did not help. Everybody's kind of jumped on that bandwagon. But on top of that, they knew Battlefield was going to be in the mix this year, and Battlefield took the FPS game of the year and is, I believe, the #1 selling game. I don't know if it's in all of the genres, but I know it's in the FPS market. So I just think that this is crazy. I think it's, well, not crazy, but I think it's crazy for Call of Duty. Many people obviously are pointing to the practices of Activision. We're all kind of tired of them. And it doesn't help that they release back-to-back Modern Warfares and back-to-back Black Ops 7, or back-to-back Black Ops titles, but we've talked about this. Everything has been said in the previous videos. We're not going to repeat ourselves today. I think we need to dive into a little bit deeper of an issue. And this is something that we talked about while I was live the other day. Make sure you turn on the notifications, Twitch, YouTube, because we've been doing the roundtable stuff and it's been really good. It's been eye-opening to see what a lot of you guys think about these, these discussions. So I actually brought this up and a lot of you guys agreed with me. So I was like, you know what? This might be actually worth a video. I guess what you clicked on the title, and I don't know what title I went with, but it's Call of Duty is no longer appealing to adults, or Call of Duty is now made for kids. And I feel like a deeper root issue with Call of Duty nowadays is they don't remember who they're making their game for. It feels like they need to stop making their game for the kids and for this brain rot generation. No offense. I know I was calling some of you guys brain rot. That's not what I meant. But let me remind you of the rating of Call of Duty. Let me grab this case real quick. Of course, Modern Warfare 2 is the game that's on top. I did not plan for this. My stack of games is to the left. It is what it is. But you see right there, that's rated M. That means this game is rated M for mature, and you cannot buy this game unless you are 17 years old or older than that. And so what I was thinking about the other day is, why do none of these games feel like they are made for a mature audience? I mean, truthfully, I feel like the last game that was made for a mature audience was MW19. And so let's real quickly, I want to show you an example. We pulled this up on stream the other day of just like the World at War teaser trailer, or just a trailer in general. And we can't play the music because it's copyrighted. But look at this, man. I talk about this from a perspective of being able to play all of these. I was probably 13 or 14 years old when World at War came out. I couldn't buy the game by myself. I had to have my mom go with me. We went to a Toys R Us and she bought the game for me. Now, I don't even know if she knew what she was buying, but it is what it is. And I'm glad she did, because it became, the game that I just absolutely love. But look at this game. I feel like when you dive into World at War, and really any of the OG Call of Duties, the golden age of Call of Duties, it felt like you were going into real war. World at War's first campaign mission, you are tied up and you're captive, and the Japanese, I believe, Japanese soldier slices your other soldier friends. You know what I mean? You've seen it before. And it's like you're put in right into the middle of this massive World War II setting, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is actually going to be a legit thing. And you know, you can talk about in Call of Duty 4 when the nuke happens and you're just absolutely shocked by this moment in the game where usually that stuff usually gets stopped, or that, you know, it's like a superhero thing. It's like, oh, the superhero saves the day and they stop the nuke. And in Call of Duty 4, it goes off and it blows up your whole entire, you know, that blows up the area you're in, and everybody's KIA. And you're like, holy crap, like this is what happens in real life. Like these are real soldiers. People die this way. Like it's sad. And it's like, it makes you actually feel something. And then you have MW2 with no Russian, and you're getting put in this, you know, just situation that is just, you're literally a terrorist. You're like undercover as a terrorist. And it just was like, it was so shocking to the world back in the day that it was making the news. Call of Duty was making the news, not for how bad their sales were, for trying stuff new and doing something that's like, whoa, that's a little risky there. And, you know, you can just go down the line. BO1 with like the you know, the numbers and the brainwashing, and did you kill JFK? And that's what I really liked about that story, was the ability to be locked into it. You were in a real history moment. Like there were people in front of you that were real people, JFK, for example, but it had a little twist in it where it tied in real life. And so you kind of get blamed possibly for killing JFK. And it's like, you can put yourself in that because you're like, wow, this was an event that happened in real life. And also this game feels so real. I feel like when you look at the last 4 titles of Call of Duty, they've really tried to get into this realm of, I mean, even since MW19, but I think MW19 overall, the package of it was what we want from a Call of Duty. It was the other stuff that kind of felt like they were copying Fortnite, whether it was free to play, you know, Warzone, or whether it was the battle pass and stuff like that, and skins in the store. I don't really think I hate that stuff. I think I look at this more now from the perspective of like the last couple Call of Duties, at least BO6 and BO7, were super brain rot. Movement all over the place. You know, skins were just an absolute mess and just a disaster. And in general, it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like they're trying to just bring in the kids for the next generation, but they're not taking care of the people that actually love Call of Duty. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me, if you're trying to please these people that are, and I keep saying brain rot, I don't really mean to call you guys brain rot if you're watching this video, but like, I feel like these people they're trying to make them love Call of Duty from a young age. And I get that, but at the same time, I feel like they're appeasing to them with the small maps and the camo grind and these random unlock events where you got to play the game a bunch. Like BO7, dude, the people on my BO7 playlist, that, if you guys didn't know, there was like an event based on playtime and points. Dude, I played BO7 a decent amount. I was like 20th in my list, and this guy had like 3 million. Like, I'm never gonna catch them. And again, that is made for people that don't have jobs, that are just grinding Call of Duty. And so as they've been doing this, trying to bring this new generation of player in, they've completely lost the old generation of people like my age, and I think even older. I think people that are 25 plus, 30 plus, they just went to Battlefield this year because it was a grounded shooter. They might not have really liked Battlefield before, but it was just an easier game to play. It felt more grounded in what they were trying to play. It felt more realistic. And I think Call of Duty has lost that. They've tried to appease to a crowd that will move on to whatever next game is popular. The kids, they jumped to Warzone because it was popular. And then they went back to Fortnite because they did a good update and brought back OG. And now they're probably playing Arc Raiders. And it's like, you're appeasing to a generation or appeasing to people that aren't really going to play your game unless it's a popular thing. So my thought is, why are you not trying to appease to the people that love your game and want it to be successful and be good? And then one of the examples I had pop into my head was HBO. I don't know about you guys, but I've been kind of getting into more HBO shows as of late as I've gotten older. And I do think TV is now better nowadays. But, you know, back in the day, you know, a CBS show versus an HBO show, there was just such a big difference. It was like CBS was for your nonchalant person who puts it on TV and they're just kind of browsing and moving whatever's on TV type of vibe. And then your HBO is like, you got to have a subscription. And like Band of Brothers comes out. It's like, this is filmed well. The actors are better. Like everything's better. And so it's for a mature audience. And you know that, like, people know that HBO is for mature. And I think that Call of Duty needs to treat themselves like, hey, we're a mature title and we need to make our game for people that are older. And I think that's something that they've just forgotten. They have forgotten that when you play Call of Duty, you are literally, the title is the game. You are accepting a call for a higher call for duty. You're going into a game where you want it to mean something. And so I've just been really thinking about that lately, because there's another thing too, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm glancing at my notes. There's actually two more things. They're about money. Okay, let's be honest. At the end of the day, they want people to spend money on skins in the game. Aren't people with jobs and who are older, a little bit more established, don't they have more money to spend? Like, don't you think that they're like, why are we not catering to some of these people? They have more money. They will probably still buy skins. They'll buy the game. And to me, this is one of those generations. Somebody commented in my live stream today, hey, I've been, you know, playing Black Ops 2 with my son and he loves it over the new Call of Duties. The Activision, I guess, thinks that people are just like, the adults are not going to show their kids Call of Duty because it's mature. It's like, that would probably be a better way to bring a new generation in. The parents play it, the parents love it, and they show it to their kids. A lot like how I got shown Star Wars growing up. I didn't grow up in the 70s and the 80s, but my parents said, hey, Star Wars were these awesome movies, you gotta watch them. And then I got into them when Star Wars 1, 2, and 3 came out. So it just ties in with all of this passing down. And on top of this, I think there's one more thing that we got to talk about. And there's probably more, and this is why I like you guys putting your opinions in there. The voice moderation. Now, I think I'm going to get some people fired up here, but I think Arc Raiders is so successful because it feels like such a community game. It feels like you're allowed to say whatever you want. And this game does well. Honestly, like, take away voice chat from Arc Raiders and the game is kind of mid. I'll say it. It is what it is. I said it. It's going to get me canceled, but it is what it is. And so I think that's another thing, is they've really tried to like mute people and nerf people in the last couple years with the prox chat bans. And listen, I'm not condoning people to say whatever in the world they want, but there's got to be a game out there where you're like, this is a mature game. If you hear a curse word in your mic, Timmy, you ain't supposed to be playing this game. You're 13. So I feel like they've pandered to a group of people that will move on to whatever game is hot. They've pandered to the online, let's just do collabs and try to make a bunch of money in skins, rather than like, hey, if we made a really fun and grounded game that meant something, you're gonna get a bunch of older folks to buy it and enjoy it and play the campaign and play the multiplayer and probably buy some skins, you know? And then the moderation of voice. Like, I want to talk smack. I want to meet people and become friends or become rivals. And all of this stuff happens because you're trying to make a game that's friendly for everybody. This isn't Roblox. This isn't Fortnite. You're Call of Duty. It's okay to advertise your game to an older generation that will then pass down to the younger generation. So with all that to say, I'm kind of yapping a little bit, but it felt like it was a worthwhile topic to talk about, because I think we're forgetting who we are. And when we forget who we are, we start to become other games. And when we become other games, we're not Call of Duty anymore. So if you're watching this, Activision, remember, 17 plus, that's mature. So let's make a mature game. Let's have some moments where things get a little uncomfortable. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think I'm cooking here? You think I'm out of my mind? I'm a little bit of both usually. So really appreciate the support. As always, if you can, leave a like, subscribe, and of course, another rant tomorrow, man. Oh, and we're playing the Ghost campaign live. I think this video will be out. We might be live while it's out. So if you want to watch me play Call of Duty Ghosts, a real campaign, come hang out with us. See you tomorrow.